I struggled with social anxiety from the age of 4 right up until the age of 32. If I were to die tomorrow, this is the information I would like to pass on to every social anxiety sufferer so that they can overcome social anxiety as quickly as possible. Number 1 is most of what you think is happening isn't actually happening. I've spoken to so many clients over the years who think that colleagues are saying stuff about them or think stuff about them. It's the nature of social anxiety that we overthink things. We tend to be on the neurotic end of the spectrum. We tend to be paranoid in our thinking. Most of what you believe is happening actually isn't. And I want to give you an example here from a client that we'll call Alex, who is an economist in Amsterdam. And he used to work in an office where he felt that people were always saying stuff about him. He felt that his colleagues looked at him with this kind of pitying, disdainful look, and that people didn't want to associate with him and didn't like him. But through our work together, he started to try on more positive assumptions and a positive outlook, and he found that exactly the opposite was happening of what he thought was happening. He realized that he was very respected in the office because he was very qualified and very academic, and people were actually looking up to him and coming to him for advice. He realized that not every silence in the office was because he had walked in or that he was creating a bad atmosphere. And he realized that when he looked into people's eyes with a positive, happy energy, he was getting that back from them. So this is the really tricky thing about social anxiety disorder. You create a kind of paranoid nightmare for yourself, which is not actually going on at all for other people. It's what I've called a kind of negative narcissism. We think everything is about us, but in the worst possible way. Number 2 is linked to this idea, and it comes from the famous author Anais Nin, where she said, "You don't see the world as it is, you see it as you are." And what you need to understand when you have social anxiety disorder is that you're projecting onto people. You're projecting all of this stuff onto the world. So if you walk out of your house in clothes that you don't feel super confident in, you start to imagine that people are chuckling about you and sniggering and laughing behind their hand and under their breath at you. You're projecting all the time. Just like Alex was projecting this insecurity onto his colleagues, and he was seeing this look of pity in their eye that wasn't actually there. You're warping reality in a negative way, and you're projecting all of your insecurities out onto the world. So you don't see the world as it is, you see it as you are. So when you clean up your own internal environment, you feel good, you feel positive, you feel happy. That's exactly what you see in your external environment and in your relationships with people. Number 3 is you are whatever you say you are. And this is similar to the quote from Henry Ford where he said, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right." This has come through on so many coaching calls where I see the shift in clients, where they actually start to believe in themselves and see that they are funny, they are charismatic, they are likable, lovable people. And as they have that belief in themselves and tell themselves that they are that, they start to receive that back in the world. So if you walk around in the world and you tell yourself that you're weak because you've got social anxiety, that you're shy, that you're too introverted, that you can't make new friends, that you can't go out on dates, that's exactly right. If you tell yourself that, that is exactly correct. But if you start telling yourself a more empowering, positive narrative, that is also correct, and you will start to get the results from that. My 4th piece of advice is to reach out. So often as men, we just struggle alone with our problems. We're too embarrassed to admit that we feel socially anxious. We feel ashamed of the things that we're going through. But reach out. If you want to reach out to a professional coach like myself and work one-on-one, then you can click the link below this video. But it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be reaching out to a partner, to a loved one, to a family member, and sharing what you're going through. You don't have to suffer in silence. And even the very act of just letting someone know what you're going through and unburdening yourself can create a big psychic relief where you relieve a lot of the pressure in yourself. Number 5 is people are very impressionable. You tell them how they should treat you. Everything is in flux. Nothing is static. And when we have social anxiety, we believe that people have fixed ideas about us and they can't be changed. The truth is that you are always projecting into the world an idea of how people should treat you. So if you walk into a room looking low self-esteem with poor body language, submissive eye contact, that's sending a signal to other people that they don't need to treat you with respect. So you have to remember that people's views of you are very malleable. They are very impressionable. You project onto them how they should treat you. Number 6 is one that took me a long time to learn, and that is to smile. When you have social anxiety, you're so used to being so serious because you're hiding your insecurity behind a stern face, a very serious expression. When you smile, it actually makes you happy. Yes, you know that when you're happy, that goes down into the body and makes you smile, but vice versa. When you smile, it makes you happy. Smiling gives off positive energy. It draws people in. I've coached clients that told me they didn't want to smile because they thought it would convey low status and make people think that they were weak. That is BS. The best way to attract anybody is to be open, smiley, positive, and friendly. Number 7 is move from negative to positive. This is a shift which I see across the board. One of the fundamental things in overcoming social anxiety at its most basic is that you have to go from being a negative person to a positive person. You're negative in the thoughts that you have about yourself. You're negative in your beliefs about the world. You're negative in your body language, in your diet habits. You really need to make a shift towards the positive. When you have a positive mindset, a positive lifestyle, positive diet, positive body language, this high vibration, this positive energy spreads out into the world, and this allows you to create good connections. It allows you to be happy socially and romantically. Too many social anxiety sufferers are going through the world with a negative, low energy vibe and then wondering why they're alone, why they can't get a date, and why they're not fulfilled in their life. Number 8 is no one is judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself. That brutal inner critic that you have in your head might be the internalized voice of someone from your past, like a strict parent or a teacher or someone who looked down on you. But that is not the voice of most people. You are punishing yourself with these extremely high perfectionistic standards, and that is just not the standard that other people are holding you to. And this harsh inner critic is crushing you. You need to develop a healthier internal voice, a healthier relationship with yourself. Number 10 is everybody is suffering with something. There's a saying that everybody is fighting a battle you know nothing about. When you got social anxiety, you think you're the weakest link. You think you're the only one with a problem. Everyone else is fine. But this is BS. Everybody has some problem. The human body and the human mind is too complicated for there not to be problems in it for everybody. Somebody has IBS, somebody has diabetes, the next person has depression, anxiety, rheumatoid arthritis, you name it. Everybody is struggling in some way. The fact that you're going through social anxiety right now does not make you anything special. It doesn't make you a leper. Everybody is struggling, and it's okay to open up about that. Number 11 is overcoming social anxiety 100% can be done. Do not spend time in forums like Reddit where people are just sitting in there crying and not taking any action. I work with people day after day who are going through incredible transformation. Do not believe anybody who tells you that overcoming social anxiety is not possible. It is 100% possible, but you need to take an intelligent, holistic approach, which is systematic and methodical, and tackle social anxiety at the very root while addressing all the wider issues in your life as well. If that kind of approach sounds like something that you're interested in, then go ahead and click the link below this video. We can jump on a free one-to-one call. I can discuss how the method works and how you can start implementing it in your own life to see your own social anxiety transformation.